Spring Ball edition of Nocturno. That's right, we don't normally, as you know, open quite this early, so thank you for coming early tonight. After the next song, we have a special feature which will require a little quiet, a little respect, a little attention to the stage. It's going to be the poetry of Rozz Williams from And About the Bells, this compendium of his works. That's going to be after the next song. And then, after all that, back to our regularly scheduled lecture.
Yeah. Good evening, Chicago. I'm Ryan Wildstar, the editor of And What About the Bells, and beloved friend and dearest brother of Rozz Williams. I've actually done a lot of other things, but tonight we're here to celebrate Railroad. I would like to wish everyone there tonight many blessings for the Graveyard Hemispheric Ball, hosted by my old friend, sorry about the old part, but I'm right there with you, the Venerable William Faith, and last but not least, organized and presented by my dear friend Zach Shaw, who interviewed me for the introduction of this book and wrote forward. I wish I could be there with you all tonight, but I'm actually here in Athens, Greece, where we did the first book release party for the book 2 years ago, almost exactly on April 14th, 2023. It was a great occasion, and I know your evening in Chicago will be as well. So tonight, here in Athens, it's April 1st, the day that Rozz died, the day that I found him 27 years ago. And I'm pre-recording this reading of his work for you tonight, especially to mark his passing, to mark the passing of this incredible artist, musician, singer, composer, and poet. He's always with me, but most definitely on this day. When your host Zach Shaw and I first talked about an interview for the introduction to the book, I knew that I had to say goodbye to one of the greatest loves of my life. So we did the interview and I said, look, ask whatever you think people want to know about Rozz, about my relationship with him, and I tried to answer as best I could, not to tell the truth about him, but my truth about our time together. After all, in the words of Rozz himself, all truth is parallel, all truth is untrue. Anyway, one of the last questions Zach asked me in the book seemed like a perfect way to start tonight. He asked me, let's just say for the sake of argument that wherever Rozz might be right now, he can hear us talking. Let's say, is there anything you want to say to him? And I said, I love you, my brother. I'm glad you're not suffering anymore. I hope wherever you are, there's a garden of beautiful boys dancing about and fountains of wine. Mwah. I'll see you someday soon. Hopefully, not too soon. So, to start off tonight, I'd like to read 3 poems from the book that are particularly important to me. First of all, the title poem of the book, And What About the Bells? This one is really interesting. I decided to name the book And What About the Bells for 2 reasons. One, because of Rozz's love of Athens and Greek mythology, and the poem ended up being the song that Electra Descending in Catastrophe Ballet, at least part of it, the chorus. And also that the second part of it in the lyric is about Paris. And What About the Bells was actually, Nipples licking the clouds, was actually the bells of Paris ringing. And those are 2 cities that he loved very dearly, Athens and Paris, and those are 2 cities that I love very dearly. In fact, I lived in most of the last 25 years. So I'm going to read to you And What About the Bells. Like the moon, she's holding hands with age, vanity cracked in her arms, China doll. Who can tell her the lies that she wants to hear? Who can carry on? Halfway there, she comes to steal my meaning. She comes to steal the bitter taste. Where on this floor we dream, and in these dreams we drown. The bed travels farther to set our hands free. Left on the edge, I slept a lot in Paris, then again on land. But now I sleep on ladders. I'm so afraid to fall. And what about the bells? The next poem I'd like to read you is called Hemispheric Energy. And this poem we wrote together, Rozz and I, when we were doing the Horse's Mouth, the album The Horse's Mouth. On the album, it was edited to become a song Rift. But this is actually the original poem that we wrote back and forth on a typewriter many years ago, and I actually ended up recording it on one of my albums, but this is the original poem, and it's now in the book. Hemispheric Energy. Hemispheric energy, traveling out from 1,000 different directions. The feeling cannot be held down long enough to rip. but when felt, it may burrow through your skeleton instantaneously, all at once making you aware of the whirlpool of atoms keeping the world in motion. This world, tossed into monstrous chaotic waves, obscured by its own shadow. No light in these dimensions of phosphorus brain fear, no clear vision of hope or redemption, eyes torn away by savage mental battles, a war carried on in endless blindness and cruelty. Weaklings cannot survive on the wave of nothing for long without some help. The rest is gesture, congested feeling, and an unwillingness to resist temptation. A man of many faces, this father of temptation, all at once guided and yet guarded. There has been no attempt to conceal the outcome. It shall be swift and ruthless, the pain sharp and full circle. The world in which we suffer now shall seem a pleasant memory. Recall, snatched from cages of non-being, but alone lives inside a creature. Fold and regather your feathers. A ruffled plume does nothing to the soul crying into peace. Die, disengage, dissolve into the recesses from whence you spewed, and wrestle the golden meat of love. And the last poem I'd like to read is called Velvet Touch. And I really found the entirety of the poem after the Rozz died, and I was going through his poetry, and I found the poem and it said Velvet Touch for Ryan. So it's quite personal, and I'll share it. Velvet Touch. In the shadow of sorrows, open thine eyes to me. I'm not begging, merely asking, dear brother, hello, it's me. I feel that we've been blinded. I feel that we've been sleeping. Dear brother, I lay weeping, torn from your velvet touch. In the shadow of sorrows, I cast a line to thee. Strong arm, can you take it? Take it to the place that we should be. Hello, it's me. Hello, it's me. In the shadow of sorrows, I shall greet thee. But at the gate I fear that I've misplaced the key, still hoping someday to be free. I ask in passing, oh I'm merely asking, when can we share a velvet touch? At the passing of shadows our love will flower, grown up around us, when between us, believe me, as roughest hearts that bleed, in the shadows we're born, alone. Embrace this brother tone. Dear brother, don't you know it's just me? Open thine eyes and share a lasting touch. In the shadow of sorrows, I cast a line to thee. Strong arm, can you take it? Take it to the place that we should be. Hello, it's me. Hello, it's me. Thank you all for listening. And I hope you will enjoy the rest of tonight's amazing tribute for the life and poetry of my brother.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for being here this evening. Tonight we're here to celebrate the life and art of Rozz Williams. And my partner in crime for this evening, Zach Shaw, is the one who put this event together. And I wish to say a few words.
Well, thank you so much for that wonderful welcome to Chicago. I've actually never been to Chicago before. This is my very first time. I flew in from New Hampshire on Friday afternoon. I am really jet lagged. So I did all the touristy stuff I had to do, but it's a pleasure to be here. So thank you all so much for showing up early to celebrate Rozz. So we're going to divide the night up into a few different parts. William and I are going to do one set of poetry from the book, pieces that wound up on Catastrophe Ballet, and also on the record Ashes. We're going to have a short video intermission of some of Rozz's friends reading pieces from the book, which was screened at the book launch in Athens a couple of years ago. And then we'll come back and do another set of just pieces from the book that we happen to really enjoy. So, we're going to start things off with a piece called Confessions of a Blind Man. I walked past the piles of teeth and hair and splintered wooden fingers to a field of marigolds, where nameless friends sleep beneath a blanket of soil. My eyes circled the perimeter, catching a glimpse of a man in his coat of arms. The atrocity general is dead, he cried. The perversity auditorium has crumbled. The catastrophe ballet is our last remaining hope. His feet removed, he stood an angelic amputee, a child with no bones. Carnival, carnival, a carnival of scenes. Send in the clowns, trained seals and sideshow freaks. Send in mothers with bleeding possessions, dying fathers and Indian warriors. Bring us liquor, mirrors, and shields. Carnival, carnival, a carnival of screams. So I'm going to pass the mic to William, and he's going to read a few pieces for you now.
Heat. Once in a lifetime, once every moment, he stood in the doorways. He stood over there. His point of view was fever on a thread of light. My point of view was shaken. He took my mind. All clocks misunderstood him. Illusions shattered slightly. My cigarette was taken slowly. The simple walk that fooled him. Built language high. He kept our mouths shut, tight, and peeled. Somewhere in hunger, he slept aloud. I asked him to read starvation. He gave me his mind. We will not stay forever. We will not stay forever. His dreams dream dreams for me. It's 3 inches between here and there. He left my body breaking backs. His heat betrays me, keeping distance between cures. He lays his head down on my mouth. Experiments he's breathing. Held out on land, proof that I am dreaming. His bed and I need dreaming. Left in the dark we breathe. These covers keep us warm. The day will disappear. Talk just can't last forever in this room. Somewhere in hunger we slept aloud. Brought out of dream starvation, he stayed behind. I will not stay forever. I will not stay forever. His dreams dream dreams of me. He's cruel, and so am I. I will drift away. I will say nothing as I die. Just where I want to be with my hands missing. Now I'm left on my own and I can see forever. Plan out another lifetime. Remember murder. Know what it means to grow old. Know how it feels to change the color of your skin. My dreams sleep out loud. Androgynous noise hand permeates. Wipe your hands, they smell of mortality. There is sanity in closets, but that is all. Cervix Couch. Rhythmic patterns, the pleasure center of the brain, just orgasmic rushes. He could read Braille with his fingers. I hate your hair, because it is middle-aged and a stranger in my hands.
Untitled. At the bottom of the blue eyes, there is an ocean. At the bottom of the ocean, an answer waiting there. In decadence and sane, a new beginning. On second thought, the wall will sleep in shame. A will of 30 scenarios. We die for 30 more, while making sense in motion, not making sense at all. The move to stay removed. Unsurfaced eyes invade lungs thrown on the fire. The fire burned past the floorboards and froze outside. Outside had quickly melted, leaving us in question. Do you remember Megan? Don't say a word, it's just a camera without film. Yet so much more was said before. More than the Sunday papers she kept kicked gloves out of. At second glance, so photogenic, the perfect moving picture, the perfect imperfection. Hearing aided us in shifting dirt with cleansed fingers. Dancing tied in knots, laughter sliced the knife. Deaf teeth produce a senile portrait. Face.
Sacred and unclean. Devils are holy, holy for suffering like the sins of man, even the beggars sucking at their lives. Orphan sons, like a dream remembered, were slammed in his face. A holy place of the human spirit, all dust again. Untitled. The man has come and gone, aroused my photographic memory, loaded the intellectuals, his lubricated straight list, in place the vocal dead. Beep, beep. Impossible leaps soften the surrounding view. Leaps appoint his eulogy to the bullets that rip through his side, like fire under hordes. Insect, smiling eyes project tang, blaze against his teeth. The accosted prey, the injured prey. Abergurgles lost the beat.
Life in winter. A man was sitting there in a wooden chair at a plain wooden table with his back to the door. He was wearing a derby. Changing his shape, he raised his eyes masked with green. Looking like the bloody host itself, he sat up in bed. The image was as compelling and as childish as a pie in the face. His pulse was racing, his ears throbbing. He threw out his darkness as all the choir boys moaned and fell over. Pants were covered in dust and stain. Earlier in the evening, she stood before the mirror, learned how tenuous is the light of his soul, now mute, spent, re-entering her sanctuary. The silence and the darkness strolled back up the set of stairs and waited, held hands and snake danced in a chain, clinging to each other's costumes, painted peach or pink or chartreuse. Then I was awake, trying to fall asleep again. My head and shoulders loomed overhead. Fire that hovered over every disciple in that upper room burned my fingers, spinning devils of snow. They can't even see me. The haven of sick minds lusted after the blood of man, melting and disfiguring the image, tugging them down by the wings into a bed of violets. Plantation houses, costumes, dresses rose from my ribs. Hands were tied. Stare at his raw hands. Eyes cupped his hands behind his back. The ballerina tried to bite his hand. Exotic punishment. It happens in half-sleep, his rejection by the mother he conjures up. He rejects the surrender of his will. You walk like you're 100 years old, and I suppose that means that I should go with you. Just the two of us left here, he said aloud. Follow me to the trophy room. Look there, I whispered. Fingers are focusing on you, looking at you. The ice becomes disfigured and rough. It's always cold when you sleep in the snow. Monks and professors, pedants and rogues, lovers of gold, misers and cut purses, virile women and effeminate men. They spend their time writing footnotes and engaging in controversy, and often an ordinary spanking with a leather belt would do them just fine. The hero is a cowpoke Christ who rides into town, lonely and obscure, their guide and guard, flagrant acts of brutality, sense of the unknown tongue and the terrors and the dangers that he, from the days of a lifetime, made the handkerchief red. Someone was going to kill him, and Razor chuckled. I couldn't remember God when he was drunk like that. An artist should never apologize and never explain. So everybody, that concludes the first set of our readings. We're going to cut to a video, and this features some of Rozz's friends who were at readings of the book from the book launch in Athens, Greece a couple of years ago, and we hope you enjoy it.
I'm Delmar Richardson, heralding for Sane. I'd like to thank Ryan and Ryan for taking me on the shoulder to read some of the works of Rozz Williams, and in particular, a piece stood out to me, I'd like to say that Rozz and I both had different paths which did not cross often, but when they did. When I was with him, I was someone who paid attention to me in a way that made me feel like I was inviting him into my world. And I think to myself, how the fuck do you do that? And I don't wonder about it anymore. So, I would especially like to thank Rozz wherever he is, everywhere, for writing this piece that I'm going to recite. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do.
shoulders off. Spit on the floor. Arranged features into a bone mask. Strands of hair moving and preservative. Massive front doors, always open. Knee deep in iris and blood red, the fold of his eyes. He woke that night, crying out, knowing his life was in danger. Wild-eyed, his face filled with frenzy. Rising back to be dead. Fugitive tremors ran through his limbs, bloody face and mouthpiece. Twist shrank. Twisted. He draws breath. Voices his thought. Love is a siege, a new empty tomb, devoid of life. Voice, oddly disjointed, invokes the unknown man. Guardate chi è tenuto saldi past, devo ricordarmi lei made. Black, in endless pacing. Was he born a widow? Walking with us now. Disemboweled remains of jackal and a child. A mind unimpeccable. Wide eyes. Saw. Dusk.
Chaos
Thank you, everyone. So I just wanted to say, I realize it's a big ask to do this kind of thing on a dance night. We thank you guys for being respectful and listening while we're doing this. And I just wanted to impart a bit of personal insight in that I was fortunate enough to play with Rozz in Christian Death and Shadow Project. And it's not lost on me how fortunate I am to have had that experience of being in your own favorite band with someone that you admire as much as Rozz. I always used to tell him, you know, you had Bowie, but I had you. And so that's why this means so much to me personally. Thank you. So we ask that you bear with us just a little while longer, and we will get back to the music. In the other flesh. In the other flesh, inscriptions of blood desperately attempt to disclose the truth, bearing the heart of our downfall. Roaring knots of pleasure, flowered with greatness, shall have no end. Their eyes are directed toward the flame. In the world of spirit, good and evil balance, no longer need for dark secrets. Spoken tongues which are forked, they shall be torn from the mouth of lies. Division shall become reality, in the mind of a diamond, divided from a society of shame.
Gone to waste. A body cannot control its tour of erotic duty, an embrace of comfortable illusion. These discoveries have left their mark, deeply disturbing the soul. The burial side of ties that bind, deterrent to any aggressor, killing sharp focus with sleepless nights. His lungs must be shared. Without walls, he is helpless at birth, a starfish left stranded to die. Man is a symbol, smooth stainless steel, lost in a dizzying fall. Yet I need more landscape, heavy makeup and wrappings, sympathy unmoved. I am not ashamed of my future. Sexual distractions, I love on crutches, and dead.
Premature ejaculation. The realization of death before birth, the conscious dream, the violence of beauty, and the result of that dream. The realization that not only is performance a sequence of dreams, but that life through death is of one's mind to succeed or fail. Through this performance, we are set free. Freedom being the capability to use the whole mind. The reality of subconsciousness, the most premature of all ejaculations. Tear the cage from your skull, take aim, and fire.
This is nothing. Bring me a voice different from the others. A cool smile with strong legs, emblazoned with scats of ink. A world I merely enter as a wanderer, an adult guiding a child on its first step. Hands ready to shove at the first uncertain move. No wasted movements on the clock. In direct conveyance of divine power, insomniac moon, and my exhausted darling sleeps with unconscious hand upon me. Red roses signifying love, hate, and aphids. I can feel the twisting black strength of my head, the swollen belly and dead eyes, which at night shatter hidden light into colored crystal fragments. Amid an atmosphere of imitation luxury, I look sadly at those transparent hands and quickly get out of bed. Too easy to turn to heaven, whenever we lose what delighted us on earth. For death interests only the dead, and I love that future planet. Cavity. Ashes and hot earth, dead person's spirit. There is no pleasure spot in bondage. I've been there for 10 years unseated, performed as a tea party, never ending. I can't help staring, mouth to mouth, roasted on the spot. The rest you can find in newspapers, garbage. Despite what you may have heard, people get killed.
Desperate ritual, careless words. Death must be a whisper away. Understanding sickness, we chose a method of attack by seduction. Those seduced are surely placid souls, our own shadows. By definition, I could explain my loss as a loss of expression, 7 years bad luck. Each time I pass the mirror, I fear the man behind the the mask. Careless ritual, desperate words. Death is but a whisper away.
So before I do this next one, I'd just like to say that I chose this one for the set list because this is one I actually read at the book launch in Athens in 2023, and it's a personal favorite of mine. This one is called Beauty is Word. Beauty blinds me, sickens me so that I empty my belly. Pit of vulgarity, for beauty like disease spreads, grows like a tumor in aggressive pleasure, is accepted like a cursed crown on the head of the corpse, displayed in its most precious jewels. Beauty is false on a liar's tongue. Only in truth does it unfold in the pages of my dreams, where it becomes more beautiful than the word scrawled on the face of a star.
Untitled. Like the moon, she bathes her hair in a river of light. Beauty held in her arms like a doll. Like the night, she wears a strange face, as dark as the sun. Night is a changeling, cast out the morning. She sits in rows of summer gardens, breeding hosts of burning angels. Ashes to the minds of strangers, but love hides there for me.
This next one, Rozz read in his last public performance before he passed away. The fiddle played on while burning, for Eric Castillo's 1997. No love lost, forgotten at any cost. This dream will never fail. Break the gates of heaven, and love shall meet you there. Wings, my child, wings always belong to you. The fiddle played on while burning. There is more like it left in the bowl, a mouthful. Soon to be sick, is still moving God, crying and knowing to fill insolent tempers. A city in which we live dreams, triumph on the back of the sphere. Climb higher, let the sun shine down on them, let the sun shine down on them. As all mortals perish, sleep in peace. We are amateurs. Water in your hands.
Beyond the eternal edge of the fish feathers. Most times, I feel like a goat amongst hearts.
Alright, so this next one is going to be pretty special. William and I are going to do this one together because it's broken up in about 7 different sections. You guys have never heard this read live before because we're doing it live tonight for the very first time in history. This is one I've always wanted to do live. I've never had a chance, but I'm glad I have the opportunity now. This one's called Prerecorded. House of Flames. Nation on fire, composed Latin. The principle is this: start with nothing, end up with nothing but your best foot backwards. Complications in Greenwood, the fire is out. You can see it all in definite structures built of brain. 9 marches on will not be stopped by the likes of you, tired and old. Mother, spit forth the truth about distant relatives. Distance reaching miles. If you look closely at the scribblings of 10-year-old, you will find lies.
Stack your bodies vertically. scratch, strip me bare. Leave me twisted on your mother's bed. The fact that you hate men is only splintered phase. 5 more minutes and we'll all be dead. I left you hanging in a closet, the smell of pureness torn clear of life. Flesh to bone is a Puritan process. Touch before the fall. And now there's ashes and hot earth. I can't help but to stare, mouth to mouth, roasted on the spot. The rest you can find in the newspapers, garbage. Pig mouth, it is fire. Poetry kills all aspects of life. Drops a boy's shirt for rent. What can I give his chest trapped inside, escaping his boxes of old clothing? Junk pile, cobwebs, and poor writing. Crawling Catholic hands. Brave faces are doing time. Hypnotic crabs pick up bits of his thighs. It hurts to be selected nightmares, scratching at their sleeves, aching to drag myself through mud for 20 or 30 more years. 3 knives sleep on his cheek. I saw blue. Amazing.
Desert nausea. Dry mouth monotone. The desert is full. The stomach is not. We step off and away from the floor. Dirt sweat. We shiver with our hearts in our hands. Push aside the disciplinary, the wayward bitch and her brother. We need only to spit and vomit to become whole again. Yet there are still restrictions binding our genitals, harder and harder to kill. Inside stay the slivers of courage, alone, building houses of hatred, 3 minutes left on the clock. No honest pot to bury oceans with sand. We're breathing too deep and too long. The lungs are full, the mind is not. How honest, nausea, the wrath of the gods, one after the other, on the desert leading down. Desert nausea, dry mouth ocean floors.
The final curtain. Ripped from the hands of thieves, martyrs and funeral flowers. My sin-filled hands hold no reason for prayer. They light from the base, they come alone. Handsome ridges melt, thin, prodding savior eats away the flesh. This time harder and harder to beat the flies, the damp syphilis, the drain. I accept and announce my addiction. Fever brings responsibilities, the responsibilities of insulin. Dark pride and happiness, the fork ran away with the spoon and left me to clean up. Just once a captivating audience, the injection wasn't right, too little and too much. An easier way to capture my thoughts, the responsibilities of reason are none.
Jesus and my enemy's soul. Filth, let me touch filth. Impossible relief. I wait for death. No more rotted corpse or dead language. I grow tired of Scarface. Vomit through my veins. From you? Scream why. Is bleeding not enough? From you, no suffering. My tears scream too loud for your ears shut, always sickening. You show no mercy in passing. Don't drag glass eyes to my funeral. I'm dying. Alone. No longer the life of a martyr. I cannot allow myself praise of Christ. No war was ever meant to be fought. No war exists. Soldier of life, the pain you've inflicted on my arms. I will dry hair for no one. Shit eaten is prone. My feet need burning grinding stone. My eyes catch the stench of you. Please leave your cross in the flood. I beg, alone.
Murder of menstruation. Constantly agonized by the cord, innocence motions to the hammer, falling down, spitting no. Menstrual influences. He had bought bedding and stones for the last 50. Standing at the edge of bone railings, hair, makeup, steak. Blank wall, blank expression, face of sticks and stones. White lace and tar, foam and gunpowder. Nervous observation being that children are capable of murder. Blank face of a child who has seen death's angel. I could only wish for such ecstasy. Smiling, I jump over the edge. Curling, shiny metal hair around my finger. Practitioners, ovens of deception, shadow play with a razor window. Tall, dark, and thin, reptilian women, the paintings I can't resist. Throwing mirrors and mirrors shatters something I can't forget. Tribal masks attempt the skeleton kiss. Take position, 100 pairings and slip. Red, black, red. Back to spaces. If I'm not explaining myself clearly, I'm explaining you. Clearly reproduced photographs, erected monuments. Country doctors slicing through steel. He does not recognize the 6 corners, house full of corpses. Recognition is far worse than death. Angel raises a beckoning finger. Spectre fall back in horror. Some hold on, others split the ground with convulsions. Undesirable language, white death, black death, red death.
Relax, the word. Relax. Have another drink, he said. Relax. They'll all be over soon, he said. Relax. This is only the beginning, he said. Relax. You've died before, he said. Last words. So we've got one more piece for you guys tonight. We'll have a few words to say after this speech. You guys have been a phenomenal audience. Thank you guys so much. But I think the one person that we really need to thank this evening is Rozz Williams. So why don't we give a hand to Rozz? Whenever I go on the road and support for this book, I always close with this piece. It's the last poem in the book for a reason. It's about Rozz's desire to leave this planet existence. This piece is called Ether of Night. It seems as if I've been on this road for years. My guide nearly 6 feet deep. But life goes on because of vague disorder, delirium, and chronic lunacy. A man's body is tortured, and the theme of death emerges. Innate or predestined, the skies of a choice. This image, neither human nor inhuman, shaped like wax in a mold of what it is not, is that of someone I cannot identify, because he is so close to me. I am motionless in the sequence, a silent witness to old dreams and dying hope. Sweet dreams will soon be mine, whispering my forgotten name in violet evening skies, no longer earthbound, but withdrawing, taking it all away, like breath across a lighted candle. And I ask myself, what holds me back? Eyes blazing with fierce, savage innocence. In other words, bloodlust, a pantomime of abject fear. And I think this only happens in dreams. There must be no outcome that might betray me. And I think, when I think of myself, that my thought seeks the ether of night, eternal shadows, far from this numb body, in the price of its unfolding. And I think all I want is out. So you guys have been phenomenal tonight. Some of you may be asking, where can I get a copy of this book? We have a merch table in the back right over there. We have a very limited number of copies, believe it or not, will be around the signing for you. We also have some 8x10 prints made exclusively for you guys tonight. They're hand numbered out at 34. And we've also got some t-shirts from my last reading event. So thank you guys so much. It means a lot. Thank you.
Thank you